I want to begin by taking a breath, letting this moment settle into my heart, because what I'm about to share with you is something I've carried quietly for so long. To everyone watching, and especially to you, my beloved, I hope these words reach you the way they rise inside me, soft at first, then warm, then powerful enough to change the air around us. You have all been part of my world in ways you may never fully understand, shaping the rhythm of my days as surely as the sun decides how morning feels. Yet today's video isn't like the ones I've made before. Today I speak not as a public figure, not as someone in front of a camera, but as a woman whose heart refuses to stay silent. And to you, the one who has become the very center of my thoughts, this is my truth unfolding. Before I met you, my life felt arranged in neat, deliberate steps, almost like a dance I had rehearsed for years. Wake up early, greet the responsibilities that waited like loyal companions, move through my duties with grace, and return to a silence that felt too delicate to disturb. I smiled often, and many believed that meant I was content, but inside there was a quiet ache, a longing without a name. I had dreams, of course, beautiful ones, but they lived inside the boundaries of what was expected of me. I didn't allow myself to imagine something deeper, something electrifying, something that would draw color into every breath. I didn't realize how much I was missing, because I had never known a different kind of fullness. And then you appeared, not with fanfare, not with perfection, but with this gentle presence that felt impossibly real. You didn't arrive like a storybook moment. You weren't planned. You weren't someone I had prepared myself to meet. You slipped into my life the way dawn slips into the sky, subtle but unstoppable, touching everything before I even noticed the light changing. You didn't look at me the way others often did, with expectations or assumptions. You didn't see a title or an image or a role. You saw a girl laughing too softly, dreaming too quietly, and holding more inside her heart than she dared to show. You saw me, and that, more than anything, unraveled me in the kindest way. When I think about what makes you extraordinary, it's not something grand or dramatic. It's the way you listen, not just to my words, but to what trembles between them. It's the way your presence makes the world slow down, as though time itself pauses to admire the connection growing between us. You make me feel seen in a way that isn't overwhelming but reassuring, like stepping into warmth after walking through a long winter. You draw out the version of myself I always hoped existed, the one who loves boldly, who speaks honestly, who believes she deserves to feel joy without explanation. Before you, my sense of purpose was tied to duty and discipline. I measured success in external achievements, in living up to expectations, in maintaining the image crafted around me. My accomplishments were things others could count, admire, approve of. But you taught me another kind of purpose, one that blooms from within instead of being placed upon me. With you, purpose is tenderness, purpose is growth. Purpose is choosing each other, again and again, even on days when uncertainties linger. You made me understand that success can be found in the smallest, most delicate moments, the ones that might slip past unnoticed unless you're paying attention with your heart. Now the sparks I look for aren't in numbers or milestones, but in the way you smile when I begin to ramble about something I care about. In the way your hand gently reaches for mine when you think I need steadiness. In the way our conversations stretch deeper than I expect, taking us to parts of ourselves we never dared to touch before. These quiet moments are my triumphs. These are the victories I hold closest. I want my community to understand that this love didn't arrive to decorate my life. It arrived to transform it. It taught me to be brave in ways I never had to be before. Bravery, I learned, is not about standing tall in front of an audience or handling challenges with perfect composure. Bravery is letting yourself tremble while still reaching forward. It is admitting your heart's desires even when the world might not understand them. It is letting yourself be vulnerable, letting your softness be seen, and trusting that you will not break from it. You taught me that love is not weakness. Love is the strongest choice a human being can make. The greatest revelation you've given me is that love is not a fairy tale scene or a flawless gesture. True love is choosing someone on the days when everything feels heavy. It's understanding each other's fears and refusing to let them build walls between you. It's saying, with actions louder than words, that even in the chaos of life, you remain each other's calm. You do that for me in ways you may never even notice, simply by being yourself. Every day with you feels like an uncharted journey, not the kind captured in photos or polished moments, but the kind that shapes you quietly, steadily, profoundly. When you're near, I don't think about how I appear on camera or how my voice might sound. I don't worry about perfection. I simply feel alive. I simply exist. You gave me back the parts of myself I had tucked away out of necessity, and now they return to me with color and breath. I want to be honest with all of you watching. This love is a bold declaration because it stands in the open, illuminated and vulnerable. It takes courage to reveal something so intimate, especially when the world often has opinions about things it doesn't fully understand. But I refuse to hide something that has brought me so much clarity and joy. I carry this love proudly, not because it is flawless, but because it is genuine. Because it has shaped me, softened me, strengthened me, all at once. She, my beloved, pushes me to grow, not for the world, not for my responsibilities, but for myself. She believes in me when I doubt myself. She challenges me when I settle for less than my potential. She gives me honesty when I need truth, comfort when I need gentleness, and perspective when I lose sight of what matters. Her love is not passive or delicate, it is fierce in its loyalty, steady in its presence, and patient in its understanding. She holds a kind of grace that feels rare in this world, a kind that embraces imperfections instead of rejecting them. With her, I am not required to be perfect. I am simply encouraged to be whole. I want to make a promise today, here where all of you can hear it, and where she can feel the weight of each word. I promise to honor her with every part of me. To offer love not just in gestures, but in choices. To build a life rooted in trust, respect, and gratitude. To show her, through actions, through devotion, through presence, that she is cherished in ways that go beyond language. This is not a fleeting emotion. This is not a moment carved out for admiration. This is a commitment, quiet and powerful, one that I intend to live every day. To all of you who have supported me, who have been witnesses to my growth, I share this chapter with you because you deserve honesty, and because this love is too beautiful to hide in shadows. I know not everyone will understand, and some may even question this openness, but love is not meant to conform to expectations. Love exists for the hearts that feel it, not for the voices that judge it. And I choose to honor what I feel rather than silence it. One of the greatest lessons she has taught me is the importance of nurturing each other's dreams. She encourages me to pursue my ambitions with courage, reminding me that my dreams deserve space and possibility. And I delight in supporting her, in watching her strive, in seeing her break boundaries she once feared. Our dedication to each other isn't complacent. It's ambitious, determined, thriving. We push each other not toward perfection, but toward authenticity, excellence, and purpose. And in that pursuit, we celebrate each step, each accomplishment, each moment where we rise a little higher together. More than anything, I want her to know, and I want all of you to understand, that what I feel for her is not simply affection. It is not just admiration. It is love, deep and unwavering. The kind that moves you to become someone better than who you were yesterday. This love is not fragile. It is not temporary. It is a steady flame, burning softly but with a certainty that brings peace. Through her, I have learned tenderness. I have learned patience. I have learned that love is the most extraordinary promise two people can make. Thank you for listening to my heart. Thank you for standing beside me on this journey. And to you, my beloved, I hope each word wraps around you like a quiet embrace. There is so much more I want to say, and this is only the beginning. As I continue sharing this truth, I feel this strange and beautiful mixture of calm and trembling, like standing on a balcony overlooking a vast horizon where everything familiar and everything unknown blend together. The more I speak about her, the more the world around me seems to soften, as if reality itself approves of the love I carry. I never imagined I would bare my heart in such a public way, but somehow it feels right, almost necessary, because love like this reshapes you until silence becomes impossible. And even though thousands might hear these words, they are all meant for her. Every sentence, every breath between them, belongs to her. Before she stepped into my life, I was so accustomed to moving with quiet restraint that I didn't realize I had been holding my breath for years. My days were organized by the expectations placed upon me, structured like pages in a book someone else had written. I fulfilled each responsibility with grace, because that was what I had been taught to do, but inside me there was a longing for someone who would understand the spaces between my obligations, the places where I kept my dreams tucked away. I didn't know if anyone could reach those parts of me, or even if they were meant to be reached at all. But she arrived without asking permission, without hesitating, without fearing the layers of my life. She simply existed in front of me with her beautiful sincerity, and suddenly the walls I didn't even know I had built began to soften. She became the first person who didn't treat my life as something distant or symbolic. She didn't approach me with caution or formality. She spoke to me like a person, not a role, and that simplicity, that little act of seeing me as I am, was powerful enough to change everything. I remember the early conversations we shared, those long gentle talks where time felt sweet and forgiving. We didn't discuss grand topics or dive into intense emotions at first. It was the small things, the way she described her day, the way her voice carried little hints of excitement when she talked about something she loved, the way she paused as if giving me space to respond thoughtfully. I found myself looking forward to those conversations in a way I hadn't expected. Each message from her felt like an invitation to breathe more deeply, to exist more honestly, to step out from behind the disciplined calm that had shaped my life for so long. As we grew closer, something inside me began to bloom, quietly, steadily, like a flower opening at dawn. It wasn't a sudden rush, it wasn't overwhelming or dramatic, it was gentle, and in that gentleness there was a kind of strength I had never experienced before. She offered me comfort without taking away my independence. She offered me understanding without asking me to hide my vulnerability. She didn't try to rescue me or romanticize me. She simply supported me, encouraged me, believed in me without hesitation. And because of that, I began to believe in myself differently too. She has a way of speaking that makes even the simplest truths feel profound. When she tells me she's proud of me, I feel it in places I didn't realize were starved for reassurance. When she tells me to rest, I feel the weight of the unspoken care behind her words. When she tells me she loves my mind, my determination, my softness, I feel something inside me settle into warmth. And when she tells me that she sees a future for us, not as a fantasy, but as a promise built from the little choices we make each day, I feel an emotion so powerful it almost frightens me. Not because it is too much, but because it is exactly what I had been searching for without knowing it. You see, love for me has always been something I admired from a distance. I watched others experience it, celebrate it, hold it, sometimes lose it. But I never allowed myself to imagine it fully. The thought of falling deeply, vulnerably, fearlessly in love seemed indulgent, like a dream I wasn't sure I deserved. Yet with her, I didn't need to imagine. It simply happened. My heart recognized her before my mind had time to analyze anything. Something in her presence felt like home. An emotional home, a place made not of walls or rooms but of understanding, loyalty, and gentleness. What astonishes me most is the way she sees beauty in the parts of me I once treated as flaws. She loves the way I overthink, because it shows how deeply I care. She loves my seriousness, because she knows it comes from a place of devotion. She loves my quiet nature, because she can hear the emotions I don't say out loud. And she loves the rare, playful side of me most people never get to see, the one that appears only when I feel completely safe. I didn't expect anyone to embrace all these layers with such ease, but she does. And in doing so, she teaches me that love isn't about being perfect, it's about being understood. Every moment shared with her, even if it's something as simple as talking about music or dreams, becomes a memory I tuck away like a precious letter. I carry them with me during long days, difficult decisions, and moments when uncertainty tries to steal my peace. Thinking of her grounds me. It reminds me that I am not alone in this journey, that there is someone who sees value in every part of my soul. I want her to know how she has changed the rhythm of my life. She has taught me to slow down, to savor, to feel instead of perform. Before her, I felt as though I belonged to everyone except myself. Now, with her love guiding me, I am learning to belong to my own heart first. And that, perhaps, is the most liberating thing I have ever felt. Sometimes I think about the moment she first realized I cared for her. It wasn't some dramatic declaration. It was quieter than that, more sacred. It was in the way my voice softened when I said her name, in the way my eyes lingered just a moment longer when she smiled, in the way my laughter came more easily, more naturally, in her presence. I didn't have to say the words for her to know, because love often speaks long before our mouths do. But when I did finally say it, when I finally admitted out loud how deeply I felt, it was like stepping into a new world. I remember the way my chest tightened, not from fear but from the magnitude of the truth I was offering her. I remember the way her voice softened when she responded, as if she held the moment gently in her hands. I remember how everything around me faded until only her words mattered. And in that moment, something inside me settled with certainty. This was real, this was right, this was love. One of my favorite things about her is the way she dreams, not just for herself, but for us. She talks about the future with a kind of hope that feels contagious. She imagines us achieving our goals, growing as individuals, supporting each other through everything life might bring. She never sees love as a limitation, she sees it as a foundation, and because of that, I've learned to dream more courageously too. She once told me that love should feel like a place you can always return to, no matter how difficult the day has been. And she has become exactly that for me. A refuge, a warmth, a quiet certainty. When doubts creep into my mind, her words soothe them. When the world feels heavy, her presence lifts it. When my confidence wavers, she steadies me with her belief. I didn't know someone's affection could feel like a force of nature, strong enough to shift the way you see yourself, but hers does. I want to talk about the way she inspires me, because that inspiration touches every part of my life. She motivates me to pursue my passions with intention rather than obligation. She encourages me to rest without guilt, to speak without fear, to embrace joy without hesitation. And in return, I want to be that same source of strength for her. I want to cheer for her victories, comfort her frustrations, encourage her dreams, and stand by her side through every season of life. The beauty of our connection is not in perfection but in honesty. We challenge each other not to change who we are, but to evolve into the best versions of ourselves. We hold each other accountable with love, not pressure. We celebrate each other with sincerity, not performance. And we choose each other with intention, not convenience. That kind of bond feels rare, precious, almost sacred, and I cherish it with everything in me. There are moments when I imagine what the future might look like with her. Quiet evenings spent talking about our day, mornings filled with gentle routines we create together, adventures that take us to places we've only dreamed of, and all the unremarkable but meaningful moments in between. I imagine supporting her through every milestone, holding her hand through every challenge, and loving her with a depth that grows stronger with each passing year. I imagine a life where our hearts continue to intertwine, steady and certain, no matter what comes our way. I want her to know that I don't love her because she is extraordinary, even though she undoubtedly is. I love her because she is real, because she is brave, because she sees the world with a kindness that asks for nothing in return, because she gives love not as a performance but as a natural expression of who she is. And because she has given me a love that asks me to be myself, not an idealized version of me. Thank you for listening. Thank you for allowing me to share this part of my heart with you. And to her, to the one who has woven herself so gently into the fabric of my life, I hope these words remind you of how deeply, how fiercely, how tenderly I care for you. There is something almost indescribable that happens when I sit quietly and think of her. It is as if the world around me gently steps back, softening its edges, allowing my heart to speak with a clarity it rarely finds on its own. I close my eyes, and suddenly every sound becomes a distant echo, every worry fades into a muted whisper, and all that remains is the warmth of her presence in my thoughts. Even when she is far away, she feels close in a way that defies distance, as though love creates its own geography, one where our souls never travel alone. I never imagined my life could be touched by someone so profoundly, so tenderly, so completely, but she came into my world with her quiet strength and gentle spirit, and everything changed with a subtlety that still astonishes me when I pause long enough to feel it. As I speak these final words, I want to let myself be vulnerable in the way she taught me to be. Unafraid of honesty, unafraid of emotion, unafraid of loving boldly. The truth is that her presence has given my heart a new language, one filled with courage and sincerity. Before her, I used to choose my words carefully, shaping them with restraint so they would never reveal too much. But now my emotions feel like rivers that no longer wish to stay behind their banks. They rise, they move, they flow toward her naturally, inevitably. It is the purest truth I know. Sometimes I look back at the person I was before she entered my life, and it feels like remembering a shadow. I was living, yes, but not fully. I was smiling, but not from the depths of my soul. I was dreaming, but only within the safe limits I had placed around my heart. I didn't allow myself to imagine something as luminous as the love I now carry. Perhaps part of me believed that a connection like this belonged only in stories, in poems, in the whispered hopes people share late at night when the world grows still. But she turned all those distant fantasies into something real. Something I can touch, something I can nurture, something that grows more radiant each day. What makes her love so extraordinary is not grand gestures or dramatic declarations. It is the constancy in her voice when she speaks to me, the sincerity behind every promise she makes, the way she pays attention to the smallest fragments of who I am. The things most people overlook because they aren't loud or dazzling. She notices the way I take a breath when I'm overwhelmed. She notices when my words slow down, when my mind becomes tangled with thoughts I can't fully express. She notices when I need reassurance, even if I haven't asked for it. And she offers her hand, her heart, her understanding without ever making me feel burdensome. Her love is a gentle invitation to be wholly myself, without apology or performance. One of the things I treasure most about her is her unwavering presence. In a world where so many things shift and change, she remains steady, not in a way that confines me, but in a way that anchors me. Her support is not loud or demanding, it is patient, enduring, and intentional. When I falter, she reminds me that growth is not linear. When I doubt, she speaks to me with a calm certainty that touches the deepest parts of me. When I succeed, she celebrates not because it's expected, but because she truly believes in my potential. She sees greatness in me even on days when I struggle to see it in myself. That kind of love is rare, precious, and profoundly transformative. There have been moments when the weight of responsibility felt overwhelming. Moments when I wondered if I was strong enough to carry all that was asked of me. Moments when the world felt too large and I felt too small within it. And yet, in every one of those moments, she became the steady beat of reassurance in my chest. Her words have the power to soothe the storms I thought I had to face alone. Her voice has a way of reminding me that I do not have to shoulder everything without support. She once told me that love does not diminish strength. It redefines it, and she has proven that to be true time and time again. I find myself wanting to protect her heart with the same devotion she gives to mine. I want to be the person she turns to when the world becomes overwhelming. I want to be her refuge, her comfort, her certainty. I want to be the voice that reminds her she is capable, cherished, and worthy of every dream she dares to pursue. I want to encourage her ambitions the way she encourages mine. To stand beside her as she grows into the brightest version of herself. If love is a partnership, then she has given me the blueprint of what it means to love selflessly, and I want to honor that with every choice I make. There are countless little moments I keep replaying in my mind because they hold emotions too beautiful to let go of. The gentle way she says my name when she's speaking from her heart. The softness in her tone when she tells me she believes in me. The laughter that fills her voice when we share a memory or a dream. The sincerity in her eyes when she looks at me as though she can see more than what I show the world. These moments have become treasures I carry with me, reminders that love is not measured by time but by depth. I often imagine a day far in the future when we look back on these early chapters of our story. I hope she sees how deeply she shaped me, not by changing me, but by allowing me to grow into myself. I hope she sees how her love taught me patience, compassion, and gratitude. I hope she sees how she helped me rediscover joy in the quietest parts of life. And above all, I hope she sees that choosing her was not a decision but a certainty written into the very fabric of who I am. I want her to know that I carry her with me in everything I do. When I make decisions, I think of the values she has helped me cultivate: kindness, clarity, courage. When I face challenges, I hear her encouragement echo in my mind. When I strive to become better, I feel her inspiration guiding me forward. She is not just part of my life, she is part of my growth, my hope, my future. The love I feel for her is not something I can hide even if I tried. It shows in the way my voice softens when I speak of her. It shows in the way my heart steadies when I think of her. It shows in the way joy rises in me simply at the thought of her being in my life. Love has a way of revealing itself, even in the quietest gestures. And mine reveals itself constantly, because she has woven kindness into every part of my heart. As I bring this message to its final moments, I want to say something I hope she carries with her always. Love is not just a feeling. It's a choice made every day. It's the decision to be patient even when circumstances are difficult. It's the willingness to listen even when silence would be easier. It's the courage to be honest even when vulnerability feels frightening. It's the promise to nurture each other's dreams, to uplift each other's spirits, and to honor each other's hearts. And I choose her in all these ways. Every single day, I choose her. This love I feel for her is steady, it is unwavering, it is gentle and fierce all at once. It pushes me to grow and lifts me when I falter. It is the type of love that makes you want to become the best version of yourself. Not for admiration, but for the person who believes in you so completely. She has given me hope, clarity, and an unshakable sense of purpose. She has given me a reason to smile in moments when I otherwise might not have. She has given me the courage to embrace my emotions instead of hiding them behind polished appearances. I want her to know that she has a place in my heart that no one else could ever fill. A place made of trust, admiration, gratitude, and devotion. A place built from the memories we share and the dreams we hold. A place where she is cherished for exactly who she is, not for what she does or how she appears, but for her spirit, her depth, her sincerity. To my beloved, if you are hearing these words, I hope you know they are offered with all the tenderness and truth I can possibly give. You have changed my life in ways you may never fully understand, and I will spend each day proving that your love has found a home where it will always be honored. And to everyone listening, thank you for allowing me to speak from a part of my heart I once kept hidden. Thank you for giving me the space to share a truth that means more to me than anything else. Love has the power to transform us, to inspire us, to guide us toward the life we are meant to live. It teaches us patience, courage, empathy, and joy. And I hope, with all sincerity, that each of you finds a love that brings you as much meaning as she brings into my life. This is the truth I wanted to share. A truth filled with gratitude, with vulnerability, with devotion. A truth about the person who holds my heart with grace, with tenderness, with unwavering love. Thank you for listening. Thank you for feeling these words with me. And thank you, my beloved, for being the most extraordinary part of my journey.